Family, today we get to look forward and explore where God is leading us next as a church.
This moment reminds us that our calling isn't limited to a building or a Sunday morning. God is inviting us to dream beyond what we've known.
We're stepping into a vision that reaches our city, our region, and even hearts across the world.
So lean in and open your hearts as we imagine together the future God is preparing for Antioch.
Every great story moves forward. For nearly 4 decades, Antioch has been faithfully writing a story of faith, family, and love, right here in the heart of Dallas. We've worshiped together, we've served together, we've built a home where love lives here. But the question now is, where do we go next? Because the vision God has given us is bigger than these walls. It's bigger than a Sunday morning. It's about expanding our reach, from local impact to global transformation.
You
allowed love and light to invade the darkness, and heaven came to earth. Sponsorship is such a beautiful program, but it has always been in the hands of the sponsor. The decision and the choice has always been in the sponsor choosing the child, and said, no, we're going to put the choice into the hands of a child.
Greetings, Antioch. This is Cheryl Wesley, and we are here in Ethiopia, particularly in the Darara area program. We're here, and in just a few minutes, some of you will be selected to be sponsors of these amazing children. And your gift will not just help the kids and their families, but the whole community. So again, Antioch, thank you for participating with the Chosen event. We love you, and we're excited to be here.
I can never forget those beautiful eyes going over right and left, looking for people they wanted as their friend. Chosen is truly amazing ministry.
Coming not as the one who's going to save them, but as the one who's going to learn from them and to serve them.
And my prayer is that your heart is stirred by God today to step into a relationship with a child, and that relationship changes everything.
Now, close your eyes for a moment and imagine. Imagine a day when our church is not only a house of worship, but a hub of hope. Imagine an Antioch school where our children learn faith, leadership, and purpose. Imagine affordable housing that helps families build stability right here in our community. Imagine a resource center where the hungry are fed, the weary find help, and the lost find direction. Imagine this campus alive with activity every day of the week, tutoring sessions, financial literacy classes, wellness workshops, youth mentorship, a place where faith meets opportunity. This is the dream, not just to be a church, but to become a movement where love, education, and opportunity meet faith. Because right now, our city is hurting. Families just miles from our doors are choosing between rent and groceries. Children are walking to school without breakfast. Seniors are struggling with health needs that they can't afford. There are gaps in access, gaps in opportunity, gaps in hope. Food insecurity, health disparities, financial literacy challenges. And while the problem seems overwhelming, we serve a God who specializes in impossible odds. The need around us isn't a reason to shrink back. It's a call to rise higher. Because if not us, then who? If not now, then when?
Antioch is uniquely positioned to respond by being
a place of truth. People are confused and they need a source of truth. This is a place where we can come and gather on Sundays, but all throughout the week, read together, study together, worship together, and praise together, and find that source of strength and truth as we worship together. Personally, it'd be the digital outreach, because we have to find a way to connect with people wherever they are. We have Antioch Anywhere, and so if you capture people anywhere, wherever they are, they'll know that community is being built and community is ready for them here. The entire country is hurting, and Antioch is a place full of love. I believe love lives here, and it's exemplified every day, not only by the staff, but as soon as you walk in the doors, you feel the love from the greeters to the ushers. And so I think Antioch is a unique place to show the world that we're ready to serve, we're ready to lead. I'm excited because there's a little something here for everybody, no matter what age group or demographic you fall in, whether it's open gym or being able to come into a midweek Bible study. There's a little bit of something here for all of us, and I think that's a way for us to best plug in and show the world that Antioch is ready to serve.
So, how do we get there? It starts with stewardship, honoring what God has already placed in our hands. Step 1, we're taking the next step to pay off the loan from our campus upgrades. Every dollar that goes toward that goal helps free us to invest more directly into ministry, into people. Step 2, next, we're investing in our home. We'll continue to care for our infrastructure, upgrading what's aging, repairing what's worn, and strengthening the foundation that holds it all. And finally, we're expanding our digital reach because the world is watching, literally. Our mission isn't limited to who can walk through these doors. Through digital ministry, we're reaching hearts across cities, across nations, across time zones. The church of tomorrow is both physical and digital, and Antioch is ready to do both.
Kind of mentioned before, just always praying about thinking through where the Lord is taking us, and as I kind of survey what's happening around the world, around the country, in terms of the next most impactful move of the church, and even considering what I learned in the scriptures when I look at the growth of the church in Acts. I think one of the things I'm kind of learning is sometimes you have to grow smaller to get bigger. I know it doesn't make a whole lot of sense in terms of our natural mindset around addition, but when you look at the book of Acts, you kind of see this thing that the church continues to grow and expand based on the idea of these intentional smaller communities that are doing the work at a micro level that blows the church up into what it is. And then you just kind of look at how demographics are changing around us, right? Like there was a time when the place that we currently sit, 7550 Southampton Road, was kind of the epicenter for Black life in DFW because everybody had moved south. So Cedar Hill, Duncanville, DeSoto, Lancaster, and there's still some of that, right? You look at Mansfield, you look at the growth in places like Waxahachie and Midlothian and that sort of thing. So, but there was a time when like most of our members lived in Oak Cliff, and that's kind of changed, right? But also Dallas has grown and expanded, and there are people outside of our current zone that I feel like the Lord is calling us to. There are some places that I feel like God is stirring my heart to move into, to create some smaller communities that could ultimately grow and become larger communities. I feel like the Lord is calling us to imagine worship and Bible studies and places outside of our current physical location. that the Lord may be deploying us into other spaces, just like the early church started in Jerusalem, but then started to develop these pockets in smaller places outside of Jerusalem. First Jerusalem, then Judea, Samaria, the uttermost parts of the earth. I see that 7550 Southampton Road is the hub, but I also see a world in which we go from here to create spaces and places in other parts of the Metroplex that will benefit from what the Lord is doing here. What does it look like to be in different homes? We got Antioch Anywhere. What does it look like to have Antioch Everywhere? Different pockets, homes and community centers and schools. Where's the Lord taking us? How do we expand our presence across the city, particularly as the city shifts, demographic shift? Our people are everywhere. We got people that drive as far as, the furthest north you could imagine in the city, and people driving from kind of far east to get to church every week. How do we impact them? And then, of course, we've talked about, Antioch Anywhere, expanding our digital footprint. But what does it look like to create a real holistic digital campus for those who are in other parts of the world? We have people, as the Lord has graced me to preach in places all over the country. I've been in places where, people come to me and say, man, I watch you every week. I stream Antioch every week. When I'm in Virginia or traveling for National Baptist Convention things, I see, people come talk to me and tell me they're Antioch Anywhere from all over the country. And it's like, well, what does it look like to really bring you into true community and not just stream a service? Really expanding our digital ministry, expanding our online teaching, and engaging those people who are a part of our Sunday morning audience, but not necessarily a part of our ingrained community, because we haven't been able to do that. Not just across this country, man, across this world. When I got a chance to go to Ghana, it would shock you how many people there stream us every week, with a 12-hour time difference. Like, they look forward to watching service. It is an amazing thing. So we want to do that. We want to figure out what campusing in a digital world looks like, but also in a physical space. I think one of our greatest needs is education. And I'm not just talking about in terms of Bible study. I mean in terms of, with what is happening in the world around us, educating the next generation is important. What's happening politically, what's happening not just politically in terms of the national government, but local governments in the state of Texas. We have to educate our children. And I've said this before, and I have not let go of this dream. It was a dream that was in my father's heart. And now I see the real necessity of it today is a school, the necessity of educating our children. And we've been, for the last couple years, quietly, we've had a team working as a think tank to put together what does it look like for us to have a private Christian school to help educate the next generation. And we've done some work on that, and we've been prayerfully considering, planning, praying through what does that look like. How do we raise funds for it so that those who are the most vulnerable, those who need it the most, can get that kind of education. And so that's something that's really important to us. But I think as we continue to change our methods as the world changes around us, the Lord is continuing to give us vision, ideas, plans so that we can make impact and not miss the moment that the Lord is calling us to. I think sometimes by trying to keep everything as it was, we're missing the moments that God wants to use us as a church to not be left behind by the future, but to help shape it. And I think the more we kind of reject forward progress, we're missing our opportunities to be on the forefront of making impact in a changing world. The message does not change. Our methods can't afford to get left in the past. And so as the Lord leads us, man, I'm committed to pioneering in new places. Dr. Bree used to say all the time, man, the Lord does not call us to eat dust. The Lord calls us to blaze trails. And I want to be a part of that work.
This vision isn't built by one leader or one team. It takes all of us. We need your prayers, covering our leaders, our decisions, and our next steps. We need your service, your willingness to give your time, your talent, and your heart. And we need your generosity, your faith to invest in the future of this house. Because when you give to Antioch, you're not just giving to a church, you're giving through a church. Through your prayers, our reach grows. Through your serving, our impact multiplies. Through your giving, lives are transformed. Together, we're not just building buildings, we're building legacy. This dream is bigger than us, but that's what makes it God-sized. It's about creating something that will outlive us, something that will bless generations we may never meet. So, as we move forward in faith, we're not just expanding our reach, we're expanding God's kingdom. Because when love lives here, it doesn't stay here, it spreads. And that is the future of Antioch.
What we saw today stretches our imagination for what ministry can become. A church that meets real needs and creates real change.
A church that shows up for its community and reaches far beyond it, trusting God to expand every step we take in faith.
This vision calls all of us to believe bigger, serve deeper, and move together with purpose.
Thank you for dreaming with us. The best of what God is building is still ahead.